They say I'm bugging, the way I'm time sweating your loving. You got me open, baby.
Whoa, who did that?
They all sit and wonder why this feeling I cannot hide. It ain't a question of pride. It's love. It's love. It's love. It's love. They say I'm ripping
The way you got my whole life. Sing, Jill.
They say I'm losing it. Just can't seem to keep my grip, baby. We all cry when we feel pain. When love is gone, we're not the same. It ain't no question of brain.
He said he got gas. Let's get out of here. Move to the next scene. Let's say it. I do have gas. This has been coming ever since October, gentlemen. Richard, and listen, Joni, we gotta pray for Richard, his family, his dad specifically, and safe travels and the whole nine, and to everybody. But yes, you are absolutely right. I'm gonna go right here and just hit, because I got to get my comment screen together. Oh, it did save it. I was going to actually talk to Ken and Glenn about this. I know you have to put the comment section back in the same space you had it in, but you are right. Keith's got gas, and gas is none other than what we call, what is the word that we have for gas? I think I still have it on lock. It is gear acquisition syndrome, and it is right here. So listen, you can handle it, Diana. You can handle it. Because, listen, I am a newbie. I am learning. I like this video stuff. But I have had to get back out in the field. Felicia, what is going on, my sis? I had to get back out in the field. And getting out in the field was so necessary. I got a video that's going to jump off on tomorrow morning. Just a short 5-minute video. And it is on the Groove Made stuff. And I love it. I call it, no, it's called Grove Made, but I call it Groove Made. And those people probably want to say something to me about it, but I just call it what I want. But I think I'm going to make this quick, because I guess I'm going to get upstairs and listen to some more Charlie Brown music. But I think I do, or I may have a small little tune for this, a little bit of Christmassy stuff in the background. And so I didn't get all my music together for it, but if I do have it up here, forget about it. Yes, I really wanted to just do this right here. Trap it out. No, that's Corey. I'm sorry. Let's unbox this thing. So first things first, this baby is wonderful. I've done a couple of shots with this, and it's great. And because of the pros on here, because I'm a newbie at photography, because of those pros, they told me to take it out of the box and put it on the A7C. I did so. And when I say it is fire, it did not make me not like my Sigma 2470, because it's something special about that lens. But for a little bit more range and different things going on, I have really been learning all of this stuff over here on these buttons. Now, what I did was, instead of just doing normal overhead unboxing and stuff, I'm just going to invite you in on the jib. So UPS band and stuff. So that is on my chair. These are my like whack in the house pants. But we will come from an angle like this. And I'm just really going to take this guy and unbox right here. So let's just get right to it. A lot of times people, we waste time with it. We just gonna pop this sucker open. Nothing new to anybody. We know how Sony has a whole bunch of blah, blah, blah in there, okay? A lot of stuff that we just don't read. Now, the good news is in my little box over here, I call it my little Christmas box over here. See, this is that Sigma 18. Okay, lens on here. What is it? The Sigma 1850. So we can just get some range over here and pop over. And did I put it in this box? No, not this box. It is in my other gift box. I stole these from Tina, everybody. These were Tina's and I stole it. But in this box over here, okay, let's zoom back out. It's getting back out. In this box right here, I actually had bought a card for this camera a long time ago. And there she is. It is the Sony brand, tough. It's a 64 gigabyte, and I know I should get more, but it's only 64 gigabyte. So let me get right to this. So Diana won't get mad at me. But look, so it says right on here, it says tough, right? So when we say tough, and we mean tough, it has this, let's get closer here. It says, move closer. There we go. So see, we have the regular Sony, and then we have this tough, okay? And so it is telling us that we need those specifics, and I made sure that I got a memory card just specifically for this camera. And so we are all set. So we're going to put this aside right over here, and then let's go back to here. Let's get this box open, okay? Let's go over here so we can see what's going on. Jib, Mr. Jib guy, get over here. Paperwork, okay? Of course, they try to gas you up even more. I'm not buying all of this crap. That's just too much going on for me. That's not going to happen. We got the gibberish, and this is language I don't speak. Doc can read all of these. Doc Rock can probably read every piece of language on here, and whatever dialect or whatever language it is. There is a prepaid card trying to beef you in on something. We're not worried about that, right? So let's just get that crap out of the way. And the instructions about the manual for this camera. That's amazing when you have an about the manual. And it tells you can look online. It gets right to it. It says checking the stuff that you have in there. And then it says insert the battery pack into the camera, because they know that you're trying to get straight into this product. Okay. At least it's the right speed. So look, they want you to get straight into what's going on here. And yeah, so there's a lot going on this. And pop you in a little bit closer. I think I got it. Yep, look at that. There's a lot going on there. But who reads instructions? Anybody you want to say that? Do you really read instructions, or do you just start plugging stuff up? Let's get to this baby. So do we go to overhead camera for this? Just for this. It's a little sloppy in here because Mr. Pelzer is excited, okay? And this is not Christmas, you know, but because I don't do the specific Christmas. I let everybody else have their fun. I may have to use this strap for a little bit of show off because it is branded specifically. Those of you who already have high-end stuff, you already knew that, but I'm excited because my A7C didn't say A7C, which means it was not upper class, as Tina would say. So now we in upper class right here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is A7IV on there, and there is a leather strap. So I may have to put my Peak design on the end of here and just go ahead and use it a little bit. And this pack over here, let's see what we got going on here. I don't want to hit the end button on there. Sorry for all the noise in the mic right in your ear. Let's get open. Come on, you. Let's see what we got here. Okay. John, I agree with you. So far, I'm going to think it is. So that's the USB cord, okay? So, but I have that sitting up on the desk because I use on the desk over here. Get over here. On the desk, we actually use the Sony ZV-E10, which has that USB oval shaped cord, or I'll put the A7C. And I really doubt it if I put this camera on the desk, because I think I am going to totally stick with this being a photography camera. So also in the box, the next thing that we pull out, just so you can see it, where is the over the desk? There we go. Is the battery. Not battery, it's the battery. Diana, you understand what I'm saying? I read instructions. Diana, you read instructions? Okay, I do too at times. Battery looks the same as the one that I already have charged, and I have one charged, so we can throw it in there. You can't tell the difference, so they're both the same thing. So the charged one, I will probably throw in, and this guy, I will put on the charger. Now, real quick, You know what? I'm sorry to delay you guys, but I want to show you something. This is my actual battery drawer because those big Sony NP batteries, I keep those on stash because I use them for my Godox lights in the field. So the Godox ML60s. So I'm gonna see if Mr. Jib will turn around. Yes, he will. And I'm gonna see if I can get a little eye on my battery drawer. Okay, so let's go to this guy. Yes, so this is a little bit of slop over here, but if I pull the jib back, I will show you my little battery drawer. Let's get him out here. Yes, and so I got this stuff over here, but that is my battery drawer, and I line up those batteries, slap all those big boys on there. I got a stash down here just to be on lock. You got those ready in case your camera needs a dummy battery. You can put it on the small rig thingamajig and plug the dummy battery right into. Got these on stash. Got the big boy and the little boy on stash, and this new battery. We're just gonna put that back here on the charger. Stick it back here, and look at that. They didn't have a lot of charge on there. See that? Daggone Sony. Y'all didn't have a charge. Y'all try to flim-flam me. See, you be all excited to open the darn camera, and then you don't even have the battery charge. All right, let's get into this. Pop him open over the desk. Here she is. Let's get him. Oh, one other thing. There's one other thing back here. And what is this guy? Hold on. Oh, another thing I don't need. That's just for the whole cord, USB cord. Put these two together, and then you can plug it in the wall and have the battery charge. Okay, moving on to the better stuff. Let's look at the camera itself, and we are done. Ladies and gentlemen, the camera I've never held before. Nothing of this nature. All of you pros have done this before. John, use them too. The NP550 and the 750s. Exactly. Plus nail clippers. All right. Oh my gosh. So this will be the first. Here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes. Look at that, baby. I've never held one of these photography series cameras ever. This baby, look at this guy. The grip right here, I know I can hold the lens up now. The grip is phenomenal. Look at this. I am totally feeling that. For the first time, look, but they put the lens on the outside. Come on, Sony. You would think that they would have it in like this so that when you pull it out the pack, you're fine. But yes, they had it flipped around on this side. Now, just for purpose of comparison, I am going to grab out of this owner bag the A7C. Hang on. Okie dokie. Here she is. So in this, let me tell y'all, this bag is awesome. A7C is sitting right in here with the Sigma 2470 on here. Let's get her out. Let's put this down and see what we have here. All right, so here's a side-by-side. I'm just going to take this lens off, and on stash, yes, we do. We have the closers, so we can put a face on here. All right, come on, get on there. Okay, because we don't want to get any dirt up in there. Let's get it back on this guy. And here we go. Over top, desk. There we go. Look at these two. Instantly, I noticed that the grip on here is even bigger than this, so it's even better to handle, which I actually like the handling of how the A7C has been, and then the grips that I had on the A66. And shooting for photography, this has been one of the best cameras that I held in my hand because of its compactness. Now, one of those things that people complain about, or they said that was so great about the A7C, was the fact that they're like, oh, it's more like an APS-C body. But I don't see a major problem with the size of this when you're doing photography. So if you take the cage on the bottom, you do have this guy coming across the top. And most people don't put their face on the camera all the time. Now, I will use it, and I start actually going through here and shooting here sometimes. But there's a lot of times when if you like Manny Ortiz, My buddy, I love watching him. He's more so out here like this, and he's got something popping off where he's holding the camera here and doing shots this way, so he's not even putting his eye on there. So he'll look in and he'll eye up, and then he just goes to the screen and he's just, shooting. So I don't see how much this makes a difference going this way, where it's one of those things where people actually do a comparison to the, yeah, that's a proper grip, especially when you have the bigger lens on. Yes. And it's amazing how people actually will make a big distinction, where I personally just didn't notice that much of a difference with this being an APS-C, but I've never, a APS-C body in a full body frame, but I never held one of these myself or had it where it doesn't feel like it's like a super bigger camera, but the grip feels wonderful, and the handling on here, you just don't feel like you're going to drop it. Now, when I had that big lens on here, the spacing on here, Manny hits from the hip a lot. He's dope. Yes, see, Manny. He's fresh. Manny fresh. Right in here, one thing I do notice for my bigger hand, I would definitely be holding this in my hand way more. So I'm really at a point where I'm not sure what I'll do with the A7C, because having it is great, but taking it around and shooting with it, this might end up being like my video camera. But this A66 is still like fire. Throwing it on the Weeble S, I throw it on there. I throw it on the jib, the slider, all of that stuff. The A6600 is like great. And so I just take that guy and we're good to go. And if I use a Sony lens on there with the IBIS in there, it's just like wonderful. And it has the big battery in there. The A7C now at this point, I love it. I love the look of it. I'm just going to see how it fits, because now with that in my hand, I got to see what the cage is for this. The grip on here is phenomenal. And so if you look at the sizing on here, the grip on the two, you'll notice look at that. That's much bigger. Okay, you literally can put this A7C over top and you see how much more grip you have out here. So when you grab around, my knuckles over here, that keeps it out. And now I see why, one of my favorite guys, man, he's like, just literally, you can just do this all day. So let's get the uniting together, and we'll just call it a night. Listen, I got to figure out how to work this thing. I know I'm going to figure it out. I'm excited to do it. But I promised myself I wasn't going to put anything else on this camera except for this guy right here. So I didn't program my jib, so forgive me. But let's take these boys off and connect it. Look at this. One, take you off. Let's take you off. And ladies and gentlemen, I will definitely have to play a song that goes right with this. And it's Love. Here we go.
They say I'm crazy.
The way you got me open, baby.
They say I'm bugging. The way I'm time sweating your loving.
Connection. Oh, she's done.
They all sit and wonder why this feeling I cannot hide.
Oh,
It ain't a question of pride.
the Manny grip.
It's love. It's love.
I think I'm about as silly as they get. Just call me crazy. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. These two are finally together. I'm going to put a battery in there, and I'm going to go up and aggravate my wife and just start taking pictures. So I got to put this card in here, and great thing about it, the two cards. So we open this guy up here. Okay, wait a minute. I don't know about this. That open. Okay, so this guy opens here nicely. Okay, I like that over there. And then we have the opening on here. There's our USB and our HDMI. Nice. And it's a multi like that. Okay. And up here, there is the headphone jack sitting on here. And then, thanks, John. Diana. Oh, wow. Okay. So there is the microphone and there's the headphone jack. Okay. Got it. Now, so here's what's getting me. I am okay. So this guy pops off at the top, and look at that there, a full HDMI. All right, reviews are all over the place, so I'm just doing my no pro thingamajig. That is dude, that's like a full HDMI. That's great. So no little micro, nothing, just pop HDMI into here, and we're coming. And I wonder if it's in or out. It's probably just out, but I'm curious if it's into it. So now our memory cards. Now this is interesting because the memory card slot, I'm not seeing. Okay, this is weird. The way I haven't seen this in a review. The way this opens is weird to me. Okay, this is just my opinion. The way this opens, how's the weight with both feel like? It actually is simple. The new lens, because I did check out the old one at the store. The old lens is noticeably heavier. That pound and some change makes a hell of a difference. And so now if you kind of just grip them like this is not heavy in your hand. You really can walk around all day with it. This right here, honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't feel too much way more heavier than walking around with the a7C and the Sigma 2470 lens. I mean, you can feel the weight because the distribution is out here. So if you have a weak wrist, that'll be a problem. But if you're carrying it like this or here with two hands or just one hand grip here, it's not a lot of weight. So I think, it's good for weight. But let me say this right here, opening it actually is smart. Sony did a smart thing on here. All full frame bodies kind of open like that. See, Diana, thank you. My behind didn't know that because I got the A7C because I wanted to try full frame, but the A7C is literally, as you know, it's not much different from the A66, a couple of things except for the screen flipping out. And then having the ZV-E10 connected with like a A66 or the 61, 64 series, whatever, you kind of are in that APS-C realm. So now this being my first full frame of a regular body, full frame body, this is dope, but I'm just not used to this, but it is easy to do. I don't know if that'll wear out after a while, but I like it. So let's get this card in here. I want to get this card in here because I'm going to cut this sucker on. And then maybe when Diana's camera comes in, I'm going to learn how to set the camera up or do some settings. But I'm going to be playing with this all holiday season and just snapping the heck out of pictures. So let's open this guy up because I vowed that certain things are only going to go for certain things. And this card is definitely only going in this camera. Now, professionally, I don't know why I actually have to have this one, but I'm just going to do what's right. And so these slots on here, maybe that's where you read instructions so that you don't put things in the wrong slot and jack stuff up, and make sure you don't put it in the wrong way. Okay, so it won't allow you to put it backwards the wrong way. And so you put it in the right way. There she goes. I'm going to close that. And then let's get a battery in here because I have a charged battery. She's going to go, whoa. That battery enclosure is like, it's weird, super big because of the extra space on the handle. But here we go. Slap this guy in. Okay. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to power on. So let's turn the screen around so that we can see it at the same time. And if we go this way, oh no. Diana does not have an A7 IV in the mail. It's kind of big. Okay, wait a minute. It's on the way though. You gotta claim it. You gotta name it and claim it. Okay. Does not have an A7 IV in the mail. It's kind of big. So you're going to go pick it up. Okay, got it. I got it. So you're going to pick it up tomorrow. Let's claim that. All right. So over desk. Let's Power the sucker on. Where's the power button? Tina's gonna freak out. She's gonna be like, you done got another camera? There we go. Wait a minute. That battery was dead. Okay, we gotta get a jump from the A7C. Let's get a jump right here. Come on, you. And let's cut you off. And we're gonna bum this other battery over here. Put that one on the charger, and we're gonna sit there and bum this battery and close you. And now we're gonna cut you on to see what happens. English. Let's go English, people. Set them on English. It's English. Set area, date, and time. Yes, we are in this part of America, and it says right now we are at around 12 a.m. That's kind of good enough for me. We want to put him right there, and today is December, and we are on the 24th, right? The 24th, and the 20, yep, and we are at 11:56. I like to be accurate with time, you know? So let's go to 11:56, and voila. All right, so register smartphone, blah, 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 blah. We'll just register later. I'm going to do that registering and stuff like that, but there we go. Now, I can't show it to you this way because I don't feel like hooking a cord up to it, but I'm going to snap my first shot, and then I'm going to sign off, all right? I didn't really want one. I've debated it, but maybe later. Yeah, I mean, look, everything else that we all have, to me, you can get the best shots that you want, and nobody's really going to sit there and say, oh, you used the A7 IV, this, that, and the third. It's kind of weird because after getting that Sigma 1850 and shooting with the A6600, I was at an event and I put the A6600 with the 1850, and I had the Sigma 2470 on the A7C, and I had a bunch of pictures mixed up in there, but the whole photo shoot was wonderful, and I almost forgot which camera I used with what. So, you know, Mr. Camera Junkie, what is going on? Keep us in the future with Alec. Oh, am I? Did I jump to? Oh, snap. I did say the 24th. It's the 23rd. The camera's... Thank you, Paul. See, that's why I love you, Paul. So there's the first shot, and we're just going to take a snap. That is the official first Keith Pelzer snatch. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a simple round of applause where I just don't have that button on lock, but that is the official first snap, Keith Pelzer, with the A4. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited to take this guy, get out into field, set it, play around with it, and do some stuff in it. The menu just looks much better on here to me. I like it. That's going to take a while to get used to because of the different features and stuff on there. But look, I do stuff like this on a live, and most people don't do this. It is one thing to have what we call gas, right? And gas is what we call this right here, gear acquisition syndrome, right? It's a funny joke and it's serious, but at the same time, the one thing I just don't do is the piss and matches on relative better. And what I mean by that is, if it motivates you, I say do it. But if it's not going to motivate you, it's like, why bother or why waste money? And then we also remember, I learned this, you know, even talking to Felicia and a few other people, it's like, if that's what's going to work for you to get you into the zone, then do it. Because I have another setup that I'm excited about, and that's going to be in my garage. And that setup is so simple. It has nothing but a backlight to it and just a softbox. And I'm going to have a overhead mic that's not going to be in the shot. That is a creative space for me to do a lot of different things that's more direct and even more serious than what I do in this room. This is my fun room. This is the fun room that actually makes me money. It actually brings clients. It actually allows me to be creative. And all the little gadgets and stuff that we can get, you know, rather than chasing the newest thing, it's chase what motivates you. If it's new, go. If it's old, go to Macari, go to eBay, go to whatever you got to do to motivate you. Some people like to get an old vintage camera because it's going to help you to be creative in shots. And then somebody would say, well, the other camera's so much better. It's like, yeah, technically it is better, but if that motivates me, it's like a person that gets an old classic car. You're not getting the car to race or make it better than the Lamborghini next door to you, but if you feel happy driving that sucker on a nice, wonderful day, then do what makes you feel great. At this point, I'm good. I got enough for the creative spaces. I'm just missing a drone that I forfeited because I got this and my wife would have killed me. And so right now, before I take to the air, I'm going to just stay grounded and figure out what I'm doing on the ground and just utilize the eye that I have. And so what I'm doing is investing around my eye. And if I had a sneaker preach moment, I'll say this: invest around your strengths as well. You can work on your weaknesses, right? But as Bill Gates would say, delegate your weakness, but you can maximize on your strength. I realize with the cheapest cameras that I have that my eye was doing much better than I actually gave it credit for. And so to get in the game of photography just to a next level and to challenge myself, I said I'm going to invest. In one sense, it's treat myself, but on another portion, I'm going to call it invest. And so this right here is the investment for me for my eye in photography. And so I'm really excited about it. I'm happy to learn about it. Thank you for joining me for the beginning of my journey and photo shooting. Shout outs to everybody that this is what you've been doing. Mr. Camera Junkie, you've been doing this for years. Other people, I'm not sleeping on nobody's skill. You've been probably doing this, and I'm happy to learn from people that have done. Felicia mentioned something that was awesome. She mentioned a lens, and she said she was using it for street photography. And I'm like, oh, dope, and means she been up in them streets. And so her love shifting into a lot more video. Same thing like me, because I was just a music guy. And I used to take photos a lot, but it was just phone, GoPro and stuff. And then when I, got into that A6100 thing and then start shooting with a couple other things, I'm shooting next to people with their phones. And don't get me wrong, I think my iPhone 13 is the freaking bomb. Like the video on there, the cinematic mode, like if it's still in the eye, it's not about is the phone better than my cameras. It's that whatever's in your hand, here's the preaching point, whatever's in your hand, how can you use it best as you can? And if you're good with little in your hand, then you deserve even greater, if you will. So, you don't really compare an iPhone, pictures to a full frame body Sony camera. You just kind of don't do that. But at the same time, the person who has the equipment, Diana, for example, she's going to do something with a ZV-1. She's going to do something with a ZV-E10. She's going to do something with her A66. Mr. Camera Junkie. It's funny how much we were laughing about lights and stuff. And here it is. Let's take in here, aperture lights, Godox switching around, whatever. For the longest time, Mr. Camera Junkie sitting there with a homemade softbox and he looks great. And so, boom, I'm like, whatever's in your hand, when you use it at your best, that's what makes or breaks the whole thing, is knowing how to use what's in your hand. So, yes, I kind of went off on a tangent on this stuff. But to challenge myself, I just went beyond what I would normally do. And in a case-to-case basis, I realized I needed more reach. And don't get me wrong, that Tamron, oh my gosh, let me say this real quick. This lens is not to be slept on. This is the Tamron 70 to 200, right? So I have two 7200s, in my hand. No, this is 7300. I put this sucker on the APS-C. This is a full frame though, but I put it on the A6600. And when I tell you the shots that were coming out of this baby, they were fire. Because I was in a place where I couldn't get close to everybody, and I needed this for reach across the room to get tight shots because I couldn't get in between people. And when I tell you guys, if I were to argue with somebody and they were to say, oh, there's a better lens, blah, 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 my pictures aren't saying what's better. They're saying my pictures look great, okay? And I ended up wanting to use my Sigma 2470, and I had to use this guy for the reach because I couldn't walk closer. And when I say, because of the lighting in the room and everything, it came out wonderful. So yes, equipment, you can never have enough. So yes, for all of us with gas, gear acquisition syndrome. Don't get it twisted. Diana got gas too. Okay, we all got gas. It's all in what we have gas in. Okay, so I doubt if there's any questions. I had to do this to keep my YouTube rolling. Check out the Grove Made video in the morning because my piece finally came in for the mouse. I like it. I'm actually going to get another one. It makes the desk look wonderful and great. And another tip, those people who end up using a bunch of hue lights in your room. I remember Dot Rock and a few other people told me this. They were saying it's not good to use the hue bulbs. You know, if you use too many of them, you'll have problems. So I'm just going to tell you what I did to solve the flickering problem. Most people wouldn't notice, but in some of my lives, these lights in the back, they would just flicker all of the hue. So these are video color lights. These other guys sitting over here on the floor, they're video color lights, right? These 1, 2, 3. That light over there is not a video color light. These lights behind the screen here, they're not a video color light. And so what was starting to happen was they would be in there flickering. So people that know video and they're looking at it, they're like, oh yeah, you know, that's why I don't use the Philips Hue lights. But here's the kicker. I went through and I did some research on it because I learned about the cycles per second and all and how Philips Hue does it. So simple solution, I wouldn't really suggest it. I would just say if you don't have a bunch of color lights and you're thinking about it, just go ahead and pony up and get professional LED lights, right, in the RGB. But here's what I did to solve the problem. You put the camera on PAL instead of NTSC or NSTC, whatever. Y'all know that stuff. It's on the European. Because if you're just streaming with the camera, it doesn't make a difference and you're not using the camera itself and recording to the camera, then you can switch it. The only thing you have to watch with your cards, because you can't format it on the American flow and then, you know, try to record the European, whatever. So, but I put these two cameras on PAL. The other ones I didn't. So you may see, now the crazy thing, you won't really see this flicker up here, but I didn't switch these different cameras. So Diana, if you have a quicker solution, you know, let me know. And I would love, and if you have a video, just post it if you already explained that in the video. But I went through that extreme. I don't know if that's too extreme, but that was the best solution I came up with. And once I switched that, the lights, you know, they don't flicker and I'm able to save all of my color setup that I invested with Philips Hue. And so when people started getting it, I'm looking at a couple people that were like, yo, I like your room setup. And they're like, I got a bunch of Philips Hues. And I'm sitting there looking like, oh Lord, when they find out that their lights are flickering, and it doesn't do it all the time, but every now and again, it would just be like in the back and I would try to turn them down or do different things. But I realized that I could change it like that. So the shutter setting, I will look into that to see and learn my terms and everything. So yeah, 150 on the shutter is easier. Okay, yeah, those regular bulbs operate on a 60 hertz. Now, when you guys say shutter, are you talking about that 150 is how you set your cameras already? Because I actually like that, and I noticed it wasn't like a big difference, and it didn't disturb it. Now, on this shot over here, I didn't really have too much of the light in there, so that was never a problem because you would only mostly see the true LED, the Godox RGB that's made for video lighting. But these other ones weren't, you know, these other lights weren't made for video lighting, and it was just tearing me up. It was bothering me. Other people didn't notice it, but I noticed it, and it was killing me. It was bothering me. So no video on it, but you can just adjust the shutter speed to not be on that frequency and decrease the brightness slightly. Got it. And so I guess the one solution I read up on, that's the one that I use. I just, you know, went in and changed it to PAL. And what happens is the 150 or whatever, the cycles, it's now in sync. And so it's kind of like being on the same beat, so that when the video is hitting it, it's not showing the cycle in effect. And so now I think it's great because I can stay with my Philips Hue lighting and I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? So because I have a setting on there where the lights actually will like slowly change and move around the color spectrum within its shot, which is great. But when it was doing that, these suckers, especially this bowl back here, was flickering like a champ. So we're done with it now. No more flickering. So somebody's going to come up with that soon, and they'll blame Ecamm. They'll say, man, Ecamm is jacked up because my lights flicker when I use it. It's like, no, bro, it's camera settings, okay? Oh, man. All right, so there we have it. I shot my first picture myself, and I'm going to get Tina. I'm going to just really like do some photo shooting and stuff like that, and I'm excited. One other thing, Diana and I, we actually could go live and tell you why these quick releases are so dope. So Mr. Camera Junkie he has the Diana, you can get Mr. Camera Junkie. He has the square ones, and I actually like the square. It's just the thinner one worked for me sliding back and forth, but I recommended the square, the other version, to just put in there, and that's the Ulanzi quick releases. I think those are so fire. And I would see a need to have both, because sometimes just dropping the camera right in is a lot easier than trying to get him there and slide. It's quick. This is very fast, but it's a lot. You can actually do it the other one with your eyes closed. You can kind of just pop in. So they blame Ecamm when they forgot to plug in the mic. Hey, we had some fun with Ken and Glenn earlier today talking about Ecamm stuff, and how, yes, people will blame Ecamm for things that Ecamm had nothing to do with. And it's just people don't learn and do. Okay, they're doing without learning. So shout outs to my girl. They do without learning. When you do without learning, you actually just jack up. So folks, I am done. That is a simple unboxing. Maybe I'll shorten this and just, it's funny for YouTube if you just like, people are still intrigued by opening the box and, doing this kind of overhead shot thingamajig and say, we're going to open the box. And open the box and it's like, woo. And then get all these views just for opening the box. I'm like, so I'm going to just start opening boxes and get views for opening boxes. That's kind of fun. But look, I am definitely a fan of this right here. That is just dope to rock out with this guy. And just, that's like wearing a Louis Vuitton belt. Like, yo, my belt is Louis Vuitton. Psych, man. I'm going to put my little Peak Design pieces on here. I'm going to lace her up right here. And Sony took away all of that chinga chinga noise. So I'm just going to put my little thing on here. Oh, daggone it. I put it on the wrong side. No, I want to put it on the other side first because I do want to keep that wrist over here. So let's put him over here on this one side. Put him through. And then I will take time because I'm not going to embarrass myself with all of this stuff. I don't know what the ham sandwich I'm doing with these buttons, but it's enough YouTubes and stuff out there to show me. And then I got all holiday season to sit there and learn what the heck I'm doing. But this is my little marriage right here. Now the camera is actually fairly light. I like the lightness of the camera itself. And wait a minute. So the shutter, okay. I think I'm gonna have to go in and do the setting so that when you take that off, it actually closes, the whole shutter piece. I think that's the interesting thing that most photographers were talking about. So this is not closed, okay? It still has the sensor open, and so I don't want any dust to get in there. So I'm going to deal with those settings and find out how to make the shingles come down. Is that it? Make it do like that. I feel like everyone watches unboxing videos hoping for a Willy Wonka golden ticket. Wow. You know what? That is a good little trigger, the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Oh, everybody, real quick, I got to say this before I get off. I'm just going to give up the tape. Okay. Those of you watching right now, there's only like 3-4 people watching. But here's the thing. You probably could care less about color the mic. And I get it because Richard said something that's dead on point. And normally I'm like that. And that is, most of the time I'll just leave stuff plain. Just give me black. I got a red car now, but normally that's because I got a good deal on it. But most of the time, it's just like, I'll just take a black car, tint the windows, and I'm cool, right? Keep it simple. I wear a black suit when I got to preach out most of the time before I try to look fancy like everybody else, and I win with it. You probably don't really care about your microphone, but for those people that do, if you like the custom MV7s, there is a company that does the same thing that Colorware does, but it's overseas and it's in India. They put a warranty on the mic as well, but it voids the Shure warranty. So this is only for people, listen closely. This is only for people, I got to put this on the quick button, with gear acquisition syndrome. If you don't have gear acquisition syndrome, don't bother, okay? It'll be a waste of your money. But they actually do the custom paint job, which means they pull the mic apart and they put it back together, but they guarantee it. And the reviews are great. I will put the link up probably in Let's Get Live, but they actually do the color mics. Now for Keith Pelzer, I wrap my own, and when it's on camera, nobody really sees the whole finish on here. It looks fine. But that's it for the microphone. Everybody's got pop color screens, and shout out to everybody that kept it simple, kept your SM7B black with the black top on there. Good. For the rest of us, more power to you. Find new colors and try to stay original. All right, I'm done for the night, and I am happy now. And this is it for Christmas for me. I'm just going to sit in this basement while everybody else has a good time, and I'm just going to shoot pictures out the window. All right.